Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get started. So, I am back. I was gone last week from moving. I might have been gone the week before, but I don't think so. Yeah, I was moving. I am now moved into my new location. We're unpacking things. The backdrop behind me is all kinds of blank. I'll be putting up various art and stuff like that for the next few weeks, but for the moment, we're just kind of still unpacking and stuff like that. But there is a tournament this weekend. I'm going to continue playing in the Team Lotus Box League thing, and they're doing a different format each day to kind of replicate a little bit of what SCG was doing with their like different formats mattering. So they have like one that's like modern, one that was standard, which I played in, one that's a pioneer, which is going to be this weekend, so on and so forth, all culminating in an invitational. So starting off, Ikoria released, and the set is comically powerful. It is insanely, insanely powerful. Maybe among the most powerful sets we've ever seen. I mean, I hear people comparing it to Urza's Saga with the power level of the companion mechanic, which adds, a card. It makes it kind of look more like Commander, so it adds a card to any opening hand if you're willing to meet the deck building restriction. But the deck building restrictions are pretty easy to bend your decks to, and there's a lot of decks in the Eternal formats that have managed to pick up some free includes to where they just have an 8-card opening hand all the time. And, yeah. Phoenix isn't necessarily one of them. Phoenix did not get this for free. And this list that I'm playing today, I don't know if it is actually better than the various Pioneer Izzet Phoenix lists I've played before, but what it does have is a bunch of powerful and promising new cards that I want to give a try. And there is like deck building concessions that are made to kind of support that and to be self-aware of the early competitors in the new format. So diving into that real quick, you can see there's quite a few additions from Ikoria in this deck. We have Sprite Dragon, which is one of the new exciting threats that you get in Izzet, which is just a blue-red flying haster. Kind of looks like a Storm Chaser Mage on rate, but it has like a permanent haste. Whenever you cast non-creature spell, you put a counter on it instead of it getting +1/+1, which is a huge upgrade over something like Storm Chaser Mage. You have Rielle, which is a completely different angle. This is a very like card advantage matters centric card that also has a lot of power in it too, but it's on the ground. It's kind of slow. Like, it doesn't really do a lot when it instantly enters the battlefield unless you immediately have a spell that causes you to discard a card right after you play it. So you have, this card that's kind of like a worse Enigma Drake, where it gets +1/+0 for each instant sorcery card in your graveyard. And the powerful effect is whenever you discard one or more cards for the first time each turn, so that's your opponent's turn and your turn, you can draw that many cards. And so this incentivizes you to take a little bit more of the discard outlet route with Phoenix than the mill yourself route, which is the kind of thing I've been doing previously. And so, like I said, you're going to see a lot of this deck kind of warping itself to use discard outlets. We're up to 3 Lightning Axe, we're playing 4 Merchant of the Veil, we're up to the full 8 2-mana effects, 4 Chart of Course, 4 Izzet Charm. Just a lot of discard outlets overloaded on that to make sure you're going to have, you're going to be able to use these, use Rielle to kind of leverage those for free. Because, I mean, it's even better if you discard a Phoenix and get to draw another card to go with it. So it's more, while Phoenix already eliminates the card disadvantage aspect of the discard outlets, Rielle even makes them into full card advantage. So that's pretty sweet. That's something we're interested in. In any of the Izzet Charm effects that let you discard 2, I think turns that into card disadvantage, a 2-card advantage, right? Because you're drawing 2 cards and you're discarding 2 cards, so it's 2 cards plus Izzet Charm for a total of 4 cards. So you end up plus a card with an Izzet Charm. So that's kind of what we're doing. We're like trying to leverage Sprite Dragon, just a lot of cheap spells. You're seeing we still have 15 1-drops here, and Just the Wind is a 1-drop. I would love for these Just the Winds to be Fiery Tempers, but Jegantha, who is our companion, the companion that makes the most sense for these at Phoenix deck, cannot support Fiery Temper because it has two of the mana symbols, the red mana symbols, in its opening mana cost or whatever, its starting cost. What's the terminology? In its mana cost. All right, well, I made that way more complicated than it needed to be. So we're playing something a little bit worse, but I think it actually is a little bit better in the face of the Luris Orzhov Aura's deck, which is the front runner for this format, it seems. I mean, you go to MTG Goldfish, it's the #1 deck. It's the deck that got to pick up Lotus, which is arguably the most powerful of the companions. It got to pick it up for free. And, yeah, so the deck's just kind of running people over for the moment. And an effect like Just the Win, I think, should help a fair bit in that kind of a matchup, that kind of setup. So it's also another thing that mitigates. I mean, when you're playing this many discard outlets, you're going to want a little bit more that rewards you for discarding cards than just these 8 cards, especially when this one requires you to be on the battlefield first before you start discarding stuff. I mean, you're just going to want to cast stuff before that. So getting to leverage another 1-mana spell that actually fits within Jegantha's restriction is really, really important. And I think this card is going to be a little bit better than it looks, just like when taking a glance at this deck list. A little light on threats, I suppose. Looking at 4 Sprite Dragons, 4 Rails, and then 4 Arclight Phoenix. Fairly threat light, but like I said, hopefully Jegantha does its work, being just a 5-mana 5/5 that you can play into the late game as you need just another threat that is a little bit thicker. Still maintaining a 20 land mana base, just a bunch of Izzet lands. I think we're even on sources, because if I did the math right, it was like extremely close. I think we should have one more mountain, but that might even be nonsense. 3 Treasure Cruise is because we're really bad at enabling Treasure Cruise. Like, the previous Phoenix decks that were, like, milling themselves, I had 6 Delve payoffs and the 4 Ox and the 2 Treasure Cruise. Here I only have the 3 Treasure Cruise, because while Treasure Cruise is a very powerful card, I think we are very, very bad at enabling it and, you know, getting them off. And so drawing too many of them is going to be disastrous for what we're trying to do. And for card advantage, like, there are better options when we're discarding cards to Rielle. Just the Win. Yeah, I think the card's good. Moving into the sideboard, I think Thing in the Ice is really important for a lot of the creature matchups, but I really want to give Sprite Dragon a try to make the deck a little bit more aggressive, because Thing in the Ice is a little bit slow. So in matchups where we can take a little bit more of the blue-red control role, we're going to want our threat to look a little bit more like Thing in the Ice. Whereas matchups where we are the aggressor, Sprite Dragon I think is going to be a fair bit better. So I'm going to start out trying to take an aggressive slant to the deck and be able to board into a little bit more controlling threat. And these numbers probably will not stay like this. I imagine this is not even close to the optimal configuration, but it is something that, like, allows us to test multiple different angles of the deck all in the same league, and that's going to be very valuable when we're just talking about this deck and testing this deck through a league to see how it fares post Ikoria's release. Beacon Bolt, still like it for answering big threats. We're a little bit better with an extra lightning axe and some Just the Wins, but in general I like it as just, you know, a card that can be 2 removal spells for a really expensive rate but can kill really big stuff. We got 2 Fries for answering Narsets primarily, also good in the mono white matchup, killing some of the bigger creatures. It's a pretty nice card in our sideboard. Abrade's more or less for Damping Spheres, Grafdigger's Cages. I expect a fair bit of those. Grafdigger's Cage, I think, is one of the only cards that works against the Gyruda deck, which we're going to be playing later tonight. So I expect a fair bit of those. Now, we're pretty good against Graveyard Hate. Like, Treasure Cruise doesn't care about Grafdigger's Cage. It's a nice thing about not leaning on Ox as hard, is that this doesn't really care about Grafdigger's Cage. And Arclight Phoenix can be hardcast for 4 mana, which isn't ideal, but, I mean, it worked in Modern, it can work in Pioneer. And then this is kind of our suite for, I mean, Mystical Speech is the best sideboard card in Pioneer. No cap, easy clap. Just the card's busted in half. Very, very efficient. Best at doing what it does. And we have 2 negates primarily for the what's that called? Lotus Breach matchup. But they also can come in matchups like Narset matchups will take like Inverter. Inverter is a good example. These should maybe be Disdainful Strokes, but I think Negate's a little bit better when you're trying to counter something like an Underworld Breach. And I think the Breach matchup is harder than the Inverter matchup if previous heuristics are to go by. Last thing I'm going to say about the deck before we dive in, I think this deck is going to be... There's going to be awkward parts of this. There's going to be bad parts of this deck. I don't expect to do overly well. What I do expect to do with this kind of deck list is to learn what Ikoria cards add a lot to the deck. Like, I expect to learn, 1, is Jegantha worth it? Like this thing. Should Phoenix even just go back to playing no companion? I doubt it, but it is something we're going to look at, is how important is this card, given what it does to warp our deck. We're going to look at how good is Rielle, because we're doing a lot of deck building concessions to make Rielle powerful. So we've maxed out on the card, and we have a bunch of discard outlets that kind of warp our deck a lot in order to really be able to make sure we have cards that care about discarding cards, especially at instant speed. Like, the instant speed discard effects are going to be important because you can do stuff on their turn and our turn and really just start to drown our opponents. And then, last but not least, how good is Sprite Dragon? Like, this card dies to every removal spell in the format. Wild Slash, Fatal Push, everything. And it trades down on mana in a lot of those spots. But it has a very powerful upside where it can just, like, run away with games if it lives for 3 turns. So we're going to see how important that is. Is Sprite Dragon actually better than Thing in the Ice in the main deck? Is Rielle worth it when you're going to the discard way instead of the mill way? And is Jegantha worth it? Those are the Ikoria cards we're testing. We're looking to see these 3 different things, but we're putting them all in the same deck, and we're going to see which of those is powerful and which one of those is just not. Look at all these tar notes. There's still so many. Is Negate better than Pierce or Stroke? Yeah, I think it is. Pierce is very easy for Lotus Breach to play around. Like, they just very often have a lot of mana. And Stroke is not as efficient against the, what's the deck called? Against the Underworld Breach go off turns. Like, there's a lot of times they can just go off underneath it and they just don't care. Like, they can Hidden Strings 1 or 2 times, then like strategic planning. Like, they can straight just win in the face of a Disdainful Stroke. Whereas, like, that may not always be true in the face of a Negate, so. I'm excited about this deck. I'm excited that Izzet got a lot of new cards in a non-Ravnica set. That is something that is one of the things I'm most excited about the Ikoria set. There's a lot of things to be negative about, a lot of negativity going around. Negate's better than Pierce, but I'm not sure about Stroke. I mean, Stroke is a little more flexible than some of the other matchups. Like, Stroke is better against Inverter because it actually gets the card Inverter, which is a little bit of a problem for this deck. But I think with some Just the Wins in the deck to help get we have answers to get the card off the table. And, like, Sprite Dragon can outsize it and stuff like that. Like, I think just naturally we got a little bit better in the face of a card, like the card Inverter of Truth. But I think we also, I think our Lotus Breach matchup is a little bit harder than the Inverter matchup is for this deck. And so, like, in order to lean into improving, like, shoring up our harder matchups a little bit better, I think that's what I want to go with. But it may just be the case that we just need to ignore most of the Lotus Breach matchup, hope to get a little bit lucky and shore up our matchups that are closer to 50-50 like the Inverter matchup is. All right, first match, here we go. Fat Chocobo? Interesting. What a name. Very, very interesting. Let's move this phone. It's making a bunch of noise. Oh. Move it over here. What? That'd be great. Alright, reveal this thing. Okay. Does my opponent have a companion? They have a Yorion. A Yorion strategy. Fair enough. What does that mean? This deck just has 80 cards in it? Cool. Okay. Is this hand playable? I mean, we have lands to cast Rielle. It's a little slow on the play, but I'm not sure we can hope for that much better. And it looks like they're going to try to fight us in the card advantage axis, in which case Rielle is actually pretty powerful. Like, this might be the Niv deck, and they might just go way over the top of us, but if that's still the case, like, they're still going to be fairly slow. I think I'm going to keep this. And I'll probably fire this off on turn 2, just to start getting spells in the yard and making this an aggressive threat. But we're gonna hold everything else. Plus, if we start finding Phoenixes, like, maybe there's a turn where we can line up these Merchant of the Veils post Rielle, and we can, like, make stuff happen. It's white Devotion, splash blue. Is that really worth it? Like, if you're white Devotion, shouldn't you just be, like, trying to draw your combo more often? I mean, if it is, that's probably better for us. But I thought most of the Yorion decks were Niv-Mizzet decks, but it seems like the Plains would signal that you're correct. Yeah, like I said, I'm just going to fire this off. Maybe we'll get lucky. It's just that easy, chat. And now we have the option of, like, opt Merchant next turn if we feel like we need to get a little bit aggressive. But if we feel like we can go slow, we have a Rielle. Charming Prince. What does Charming Prince signal? Thing is, Rielle's not getting through on the ground very well. And this card is going to stop sign us in the air pretty big. So, we could spew all this And then if we end up with another Phoenix, then we have 2 Phoenixes coming back, and that's a high upside. So, like, we have this, like, very, very high ceiling play where we can go opt merchant, and we can get 2 Phoenixes. Or, they're a Reflector Mage deck? Sure. Seems like a very good reason not to play Rielle. Or next turn we can Rielle and then hold up a merchant and make sure we get our equity out of it. I think that's a little more attractive to me, knowing I have the 4th land already dialed up. So, I think I'm going to just go ahead and start leading on these ops. Not a bird. Goodbye. Bird? Not a bird. Have a nice day. Just wild slash this. I think I like wild slashing this. Just like something I'm going to want to get off the table if I'm going to attack with Rielle anyway. It isn't strict card disadvantage. Lowers their Yorion value. Because that's something like we're gonna have to like think about constantly is how much value is their Yorion getting when it enters play. Now if they Reflector Mage this, it's just not very good. Because we can just Rielle into merchanting it into the graveyard and it's just like very cool. It has haste, so like just Reflector Maging something with haste it just does not feel good. Okay, I like the way we sequence this. A lightning axe, huh? We could just kill it now. But I think I want to save that for the Yorion itself. Like, they're like a turn and a half away from it or whatever. Boop. Here's Rielle. And then, like, we can also, like, make them feel a little safe. Like, this thing's already pretty big. We can make them feel a little bit safe by just, like, killing this. Like, on our, like, if we feel like we need to push damage. They immediately snapped off their 4th land. That's not good for me. What is this thing? It looks for an enchantment, huh? Okay. Don't care about that. I care about what you reveal. How many hits do they have? Apparently enough. This kills Rielle. Okay. Block. Cast. Well, we're getting to do all the things. Yes, I'm going to discard just the Arclight Phoenix. Okay. That Wild Slash is actually a pretty good draw, I think. Well, we have a lot of bad ones. Let's lead off with a Haggle. Discard an extra Rielle. Ooh, that Arclight Phoenix is a huge, huge draw. Okay. So we can just Lightning Axe the Owl. I want to hold the other Lightning Axe up so that we draw a card from it. So we can Lightning Axe the Owl, make attacks, and if they no blocks, we just pass the Lightning Axe up. But it requires us to Wild Slash their face. Did they just die? We're short a point, aren't we? 1, 2, 6. Oh, I didn't account for these going to the graveyard. Hold on. 6, 10, 12. They're not just dead, right? Axe this. Axe this. Puts 2 spells in the yard to 6. 7, 8. Plus 6 is 14. They're not just dead. I mean, we know they have a Baffling End. And then we don't have an answer to Yorion. The thing is, Yorion doesn't get any value. I guess we have Jegantha if that goes wrong. And we have multiple Merchant of the Veils dialed up. And we can hold the Wild Slash. I really want to get an extra card out of this Rielle, though. One, 2, 3, 7, 13, 14, 15. We might actually be able to get him to 2. Alright. Whatever. It's probably better than getting an extra card. Hold the Rielle. It's just another good threat. Just Wild Slash you now because it pushes an extra point? Sure. Okay, Rielle's kind of sweet. This card's nice. It's just big. It's so large. Alright, put you to 2. Being dead to Wild Slash is like the swing vote for me. Because we have like 2 full Wild Slashes left in our deck. And I'm like, that if they do have multiple answers or whatever, we just win the game over the course of multiple turns. They don't have life gain. The difference between 3 and 2 is huge. They'll likely have Rip post board. I mean, even if Rielle's tiny, like, it still does the part of the text that matters, right? Like, even if it's an 0-3, play Nykthos, concede. Why play the Nykthos? I have so many questions. Okay. Fry seems excellent. Ended up working out. They had nothing. We're so lucky. Skill, 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 skill. The thing is Thing in the Ice better or worse when all their creatures have value, but they're a creature deck? Like, if they're a creature deck, they just put a bunch of permanents into play, but they all get ETB value. Thing in the Ice just has to be horrible, right? The thing is, Sprite Dragon isn't much better, but it at least flies. Ugh, what a spot to be in. I want the permanent removal spells. I want less of the stuff that leans into the graveyard, because they probably are going to rip us. They also have a lot of enchantments, which makes me maybe want negates. Like, they have a lot of enchantments that just function as, like, their removal spells. And if they rest in peace us, they functionally shut off 4 of our threats. And that puts us down to, like, 8 kind of bad threats and a Jegantha. I don't like Thing either. How many permanents do we like? Doesn't Merchant draw cards if that's what the game's about? I mean, it draws cards slow. I think it's very unlikely they have Rip. I mean, we need to know what to beat. Just the Wind seems really bad. I'm just going to start getting rid of those. Lightning Axe seems important. Izzet Charm seems okay. Merchant has a body attached. His Cruise just isn't that important. Like, if we're planning on having Rielle being our, like, card advantage thing, we just can't have more do nothing. Maybe we can just cut her out. Like, if the card's just not that good, maybe we can just trim the fat a little bit. What do we think of this configuration? Also, hey Teddy, how are you? Huh. Yeah, I have no idea. Let's just try something like this. I noticed you, Teddy. You got very noticed. Alright, I guess I have to reveal my thing again. That one. Yorion. Do you reveal at the same time? Is that how this works? Because it doesn't even look like it goes in turn order. Removal spells are out. I mean, we kept this, basically this exact hand, but the cards were a little bit better. I think on the draw, when they have Reflector Mage on the play, this is just going to be too slow. So I'm going to mulligan. Try to find something with like a Sprite Dragon or something. I don't know. Yeesh. Keep this bottom of Wild Slash. Like, we have just a good curve. And if we don't end up countering a spell, we can, like, do a thing. Draw 2, discard 2 if our Rielle lives. If it gets baffling ended like it likely will, then it sucks to suck. We got the partial move. No one truly stops moving. Did you see that? That was a nice thread. Let's go. I love how it even puts it outside right next to your hand every time you take your turn. What does this clown do? Okay. Probably just gonna like Wild Slash this. I am going to Wild Slash this. Now we can counter a Gideon if it comes to that. I like that they have 80 cards, so they have to play like more bad cards. What is this? A Teferi? Alright, I mean, I'll counter that. That is pretty good against Rielle. Unfortunately, now our Rielle doesn't do anything, so we're going to have to draw some discard outlets on the double. But, or that. We can just draw that. That's fine, too. We don't need our Rielle to do anything. Maybe they'll, like, Reflector Mage this, and we can just play this. Like, curve out conveniently, and then play a Rielle again when we actually have something that draws cards. Yeah. Well, come on. Come on. The permanent answer? That's no fun. No fun. Play fair. Alright, they have Super Goofball coming down, which flickers this. I get a 3/3 and they get to exile it. Doesn't matter. Caw. I guess we can just play our 5/5 next turn. That outsizes their companion. That's probably our plan. Like, if we're just, like, putting draft unplayables into the table, then that's what we're doing. Oh, no. They miss a land? They miss a land. Well, I mean, if they draw a land, it's super punishing. If they don't draw a land, whatever. I'm going to play my companion. Which lets me use my mana efficiently. Like I said, if they hit it, they hit it. It sucks. Life's not great, but things could go worse. Like, they don't get points. Well, that sucks. Alright, very cool. More enchantments. Yeah, Negate should 100% be in this deck. If they have Teferi and all this stuff, like, we should 100% have Negates. Totally whiffed on the Negate logic. Opt. Bottom. Wish I could counter that. Interesting. So discard this. We have a threat dialed up. That doesn't sound very good to me. Because I can't cast both, right? Phoenix. Yo, Chaos. Thanks for the sub. What's up, brother? Hello again. 4 months. Thank you very much for your support. I very much appreciate it. If you have a sub list you want to play this month, put it in the Discord. I got plenty of time. I might just concede. It might just save time. I'm trying to think what like our outs actually are. Because like, just play Yorion and flicker the stupid Elspeth Conquers Death and it gets this. Otherwise, they flicker Reflector Mage to get this. Alright, I'm done here. We're just playing play. There's maybe a chance we can eke out of that with like a super sick pop-off with the Sprite Dragon in play, but just being on the draw there was so punishing. Alright, with all these enchantments, we need some negates. Give me some negates. I need negates. Negates in my life. Put more negates in my deck. I wonder if Wild Slash is a lot worse than it looks on its surface. What if we just cut 2 Wild Slashes? Hand is good if we draw looting. Hand's always good if we draw looting. Why isn't Dark Ascension legal? They exile all my stuff. Beacon Bolt still looks okay to me. We're just cut another Treasure Cruise. Is Treasure Cruise just really bad? So these, we're cut these 6. For these 3, 4, 5, 6. Very reactive. I feel very reactive in this matchup. Which makes Arclight Phoenix a little bit worse and Treasure Cruise a little bit better. But cutting a single Arclight Phoenix sounds super goofy. I think Sprite Dragon actually plays a pretty good reactive game, unlike Thing in the Ice, where you can just like keep beating down and like grow it on their turn. I don't know, let's try something like this. It came for the burbs. Fair, Mikey, fair. We'll leave them all in then, just for you. Just because you came for the burbs, we'll leave them all in the deck. Oh my god, look at my hair. Chat, what the heck? My hair is getting so long. It's gonna like consume this entire headset soon. This is just, every opening hand has a Rielle in it. That's just like the law, right? You just, every opening hand has a Rielle. I don't know, sure, dude. I'm just gonna, look, I see a Rielle in the opening hand, I'm just gonna keep it. Just gonna keep it. That's what we're gonna do. We have functional mana, we have spells that have text. Oh my gosh, the Raven Inspector is so good. So good with the Yorion. You get so much value, chat. Value. Value. Go. Unfortunately, my Rielle is going to get yoinked by a Baffling End on turn 2. And, like, I can't hold mana up. I can't afford to wait until 5 mana to play it, most likely, too. Like, they're probably just going to crack a clue here and then, like, yoink this with whatever they have that yoinks this. Oh, they're just main phasing it. Sure. No. So, with that in mind, knowing that we're not untapping with this on turn 4, what do we do? Just take a draw step? We can just take a draw step. As long as we're making land drops, I feel like we're just taking draw steps. Well, we missed on land. I'm going to play it for the first time. It'll get yoinked. And then we have to find lands or threats or both. Not ideal. Hey, a tap land! That just makes the Baffling End look even better. Means it's not a bounce spell, which is really bad for us. Okay. Well, that sucks. Fry. That certainly isn't it. About to just play this. I mean, I need to hit land drops, though, so let's cast Haggle. We'll discard a Wild Slash. Rielle. Okay, I'm kind of into this. Though their Yorion still looks really good with Baffling End. I guess we're just passing. And I'll just play this, and then they're gonna, like, they can, like, choose to upgrade it to a 3/3. It sucks to, like, wait, like, on their turn 5 just be doing this, but... Like, we have an answer to Yorion already in play, and if they investigate again, it's not the end of the world. Whereas if they kill Rielle again, it is the end of the world. Heliod. Sure. Arclight Phoenix. Play this way if we draw land. I mean, I'm not beating Ballista plus Yorion. Like, we need to pick an angle to, like, that we can actually beat. For what it's worth, this matchup I thought was unwinnable with the other version of Phoenix. These games feel closer. Sure. And that's only the 4th devotion, so you need another source of devotion. So probably something that bounces. Reflector Mage or Teferi? Reflector Mage. Alright, and then hit me for 6. Okay. Sure. Land. Alright, breaking this many times, I don't think we can win. Can start picking off stuff. Kill this. Actually, stop. Let's not do that. We have a lot of 1-mana spells here, but we're short a blue one. So I should do this and then draw 2, discard 2. No lad. Okay. Have a nice day. That was actually really promising. Normally the mono white matchup feels really, really hard because we just don't have clean answers to enchantments, but like they had the scary enchantments in the main deck in that match, and like I think we played a set of competitive games. Rule of thumb: never side out Burb. That was a rule of thumb for the modern version. This is Pioneer. This is a whole different animal. We're barely even a Phoenix deck. Actually, that's not true. We're pretty clearly a Phoenix deck. I think Sprite Dragon will get sorted out, sideboarded out a lot more. Like, I'm trying to lean a little harder into Rielle, which is why I kept, like, opening hands that just had 3 mana plus Rielle. What is his hand? Wow. Yeah, okay. I mean, I'll mulligan that. Sure. Keep. Bottom. That. Land. Go. Charter Course is just, like, that's the nice thing about Charter Course in this deck, is it's fine. It's just a 2 mana play to, like, help sculpt your hand a little bit more. Like, it's just a cantrip. Rielle is the best Phoenix. That's facts. Gobos! Oh, no. Actually, it might not be Gobos. There's a deck that does something with Skirk Prospector, right? No Companion. Opponent's playing on hard mode. I see. I see what you are communicating to me. And frankly, it's quite frustrating. I think this Lightning Axe is gonna be important. I'm not here to discard removal spells. Godfarrow's Gift? That might be it. I mean, they might just actually be a Gobos deck. Oh, yeah, they are. Goblin War Chief. Alright, we need to draw a red source now. I figured this would happen, which is why I didn't super prioritize, like, I don't feel super worried trying to find a red source for this, because, like, I figured they were going to try to ramp out this clown, because this is going to be worth more mana than this is. But it means we need to kill this clown this turn, so let's find a red source. I guess I could have also just the winded it, but that's a much worse turn than finding a land. Well, that requires me to actually find the land, huh? Dang. Never didn't have it, chat. Never didn't have it. I don't know what made you think that I was going to, like, not have it, but never, ever didn't have it at any point in time. What are we discarding to this? Target this. I think I'm discarding just the wind and not using it. Okay. No. And then we can Rielle into Charter Course. This Treasure Cruise and this Rielle are not good deck building here. We might also just Treasure Cruise next turn over Rielling. Depends on what their turn looks like. If it's just that plus, like, something, like, that's not Pile Driver, Proc Blue, sure. Alright, well, now it's pretty hard not to just Wild Slash this plus Treasure Cruise, right? Wild Slash. This. I can't tell if I'm going to Treasure Cruise for 1 mana, though. I think I'm going to do 2. Because any spell I'd want to cast is going to require 2 mana anyway. And I want my Rielle to have a power. It'll have 2 power now. Maybe we shock. Yeah, okay. I think it's worth 2 points to potentially catch like a War Chief or something. Because like the worst case scenario is it just trades and then we like end up in a spot where we've traded spells. Like we've traded the same amount of life, but like I've interacted with the board. Goblins get +1/+1. Sack a goblin, destroy an artifact. Okay. Well, I don't have any artifacts, but I guess that's a thing. Do I kill this? Killing that doesn't seem good. don't think I'm going to kill that. Alright. Well, Sprite Dragon's a nice one. Sprite Dragon. Maybe I'll cast this Charter Course to draw cards. Like, I don't know that I'm in the business of blocking. Maybe I am. Maybe I am in the business of blocking. Alright, let's opt. Let's opt. Just to, like, grow this one. See if we're in the business of blocking. Phoenix. Yeah, we might be in the business of blocking. Although I want to hold this Wild Slash for this Arclight Phoenix potentially. This is a lot of damage. Yeah, whatever. Worst case scenario, we'll Wild Slash the Skirk Prospector anyway. If all they have is 5 though, I'm okay going to 9. And I don't think, like, there's a potential they play a Haster that I care more about, like a War Chief. A Pile Driver, sure. Bushwhacker. Am I dead no matter what? Because this doesn't die to... Well, I guess I couldn't block it anyway. Because this doesn't die to Wild Slash? Alright, well... Whatever. Haven't done the math. Wild Slash that. 3... 6... 7, 8, 9, 10... 11, 12. Looks like I'm going to 2. I have myself currently going to 2. We'll see how that pans out. No, 1. 7, 10, plus 4. Oh, no, this is Xaxes. Yeah, this is Xaxes. How did I miss the extra point? Kill this. This ended up with an extra point, plus 2. I just must have missed a point somewhere. Oh, no. We're getting beat up by goblins. Well, Thinking the Eye seems like an incredible upgrade over the old dragon in this creature-centric matchup. Shocking, I know. Guess we can line everything up. Gonna want removal spells, because that makes sense. What am I doing? There we go. Just the Wind seems kind of bad. I mean, it bounces Goblin Trashmasher, which is like 4 mana. Maybe Just the Wind is actually pretty good. Oh, man. Rielle looked really bad. So did Treasure Cruise. Like, the match just wasn't really about all that. Although I think Treasure Cruise is a little bit better than Rielle is, because Rielle is just so freaking slow. But Rielle blocks. Rielle is pretty bad with Thing in the Ice, though. Bouncing around Rielle is comical. But I think if we have Thing in the Ice, we're already very ahead. Yeah, we'll try to Just the Wind. Don't want to draw both like we did last game. Calculated, did the math. Hate to see it, but this deck looks bad. That's very possible. I expect a fair bit of this deck to be bad. Rielle blocks. Does Treasure Cruise block? Touche, touche. Oh, this looks like a good hand. How are you playing goblins if there's no companion that you want? Like, it seems like you could maybe ditch a few of the 2s and the 4s and end up with a Bosch. You know, Bosch seems like a huge upgrade. Especially when you're Skirk Prospectoring out stuff. Because Reckless Bushwhacker's 3 mana, right? So you can still do that thing. Oh, Bosch doesn't work with tokens. Sure. Man, they didn't make a ton of tokens, if I remember right. Block. Not about it, huh? So I want to save most of my cheap spells for for my next turn in case I find Phoenixes. But I still have 2 cheap spells, so I think I might fire this off and then plan to Wild Slash this. Chart. Because I have a land I'm happy to do. Like, I have a card I'm happy to discard. Now, if I just brick entirely on all spells, which I did not do, then I feel a little silly. But, like I said, I did not do that, so... yeah, we'll just pass. We'll plan to Wild Slash this. No Gorkland Rampagers, I suspect, in their deck that we need to play around. And there's a universe where we need to, like, kill this instead, and we can just, like, tank 1 point if they, like, put a bunch of stuff into play. Like, make this more than 4 power. We're going to want to Wild Slash this and just plan to, like, Wild Slash this in the next turn. We're going to need to kill this eventually, though, because obviously True Name Nemesis is. Or we can kill that. Is killing that better? What, this makes this a 3 power? So we can just block Wild Slash, take 1? Okay. Oh, it makes it attack too. That's pretty funny. Let's just Wild Slash this. And now they know their attack's goofy, but I don't think it matters. I will block. God, Thing in the Ice. Doing its best Steel Wall impression again. Really impressive stuff. Another thing? This is so tempting. We can just play another thing and then Wild Slash this. Alright, talk me into it. I have enough spells to flip the second thing, so I'm willing to play a little bit more slow in order to have this card actually have text. Powerful stuff. Legion Loyalist. Well, they've already used mana, so I'm just going to fire this off. Don't want them making another token. Fry. Okay. Very glad we played the second one. And we still have a flip dialed up. Pretty nice. I'm going to play around Wild Slash here. Just block the token or whatever. If they have a pump spell, like, you 100% got me, but we're giving up a point. Just the Wind. We're going to pick everything up anyway, but it's a free trigger. Haggle. Okay. Yes. Discard Just the Wind. Okay. Target the token. God, this would be such a sweet one to pick up our thing in the ice with the other thing in the ice. Like if we just had a bunch of mana, just pick up the other thing in the ice. That's a nice little trick around Fry. All right, now I actually need to haggle and discard this Arclight Phoenix. Okay. Combat. Okay. It's pretty impressive stuff. Hit you for 10 on turn 5 around a piece of interaction. Here for it. Alright, what do you have? A Ringleader. A 2/2 is not going to do it, fam. 4 cards revealed. One's a Mountain, one's a Rabble Master. They're all gajillion mana. So as long as we don't die out of nowhere, we're okay. So you can hit for 2. Just leave yourself dead to a removal spell? Mad respect. Hey, look, a removal spell. Interesting. Very interesting. I mean, maybe they just believe they're not winning if I have another removal spell. Yeah, that's fair. I don't really see that, but maybe they do. Okay. Just the Wind was fine there. Nothing insane, nothing to write home about. Knowing they have Fry makes my decision to cut a Rielle a lot better, I think. Any changes you want to make? I don't really think so. I think a lot of our cards worked out pretty nicely. Done thinking. Submit. beat my chest. Put Phoenix into play. Show this thing every game. Is this tedious yet? This hand is sick. 2/1 mana removal spells, a discard payoff, 3 lands, and a thing. Alright. No 1-drop, huh? No 1-drop. No 1-drop, no problem. Oh. Very interesting. Kill it. Just kidding, I'm not killing that. Enters the battlefield, make a 1/1. You got it, friend. Boop. Alright, on your Rabble Master turn and your War Chief turn, here's the thing to fry. So you have to take the turn off to fry it, basically. Although you may just play your thing, then let me start trying to like flip this because there's no free spells, and then just fry it on your next turn. So be careful how many spells we commit. Lava Coil 2? What is this garbage? What is this? Thank God we have Jegantha. This is exactly the situation where Jegantha is good, because like we're going to feel like such a goober until we can get like a real blocker into play. What the heck, dude? And they drew a land? They're so lucky. Pile driver. Okay. No attacks. Do you have a Stoke the Flames? What is happening here? Wild Slash that. What is happening? I have so many questions. Maybe they just messed up. Okay. Well, Jegantha's coming down next turn. Chart. Sure, we'll just get this. It's nice. This is a nice little like piece of equity to help catch up here. Like, I don't love taking 2 a turn, but like obviously using removal spells just doesn't feel good. And we're taking the turn off, so like mitigating a little bit of the damage by just like being able to bounce the token is like, that was actually like relevant. That Just the Wind was better, looked pretty like extra, but it was actually very good. That is going to get so wild slashed. Oh yeah, goodbye, see ya, have a nice day. Fry doesn't hit Jegantha, right? That's only blue or red. And we just have this like 5/5. Alright, whatever, dude. Alright. Time number 2 of casting the big one. Relevant here, I mean, we don't have a threat. Like, this is exactly the situation I was talking about, where we're just like kind of got our 1 threat killed and we're bricking off. No, here's a 5/5. That can function as extra mana if we end up spinning a bunch of our wheels. I mean, tapping your 5/5 for mana is some like Legends power level stuff, but oh, okay. Alright, I guess. Yeah, you're oh no, what have I done? Kill that. I guess play this land. I don't even want to kill this. The cards in the graveyard. 5. So I can tap 2 lands to Treasure Cruise if I'm willing to dev up my whole graveyard? I think I am. No, I have to do 3. I think the 1 point on Rielle doesn't actually matter that much. From 2 to 3. So we're just going to do this. See what we end up with here. Might just be charting, of course. What is this garbage? Alright, we Wild Slash, right? We Wild Slash this turn? Yeah, so we can put a Phoenix into play. Okay. No, this ended up working out. Chart a course. Oh, no. Okay. Well, we'll be playing full retail for some of these. Okay. Attack. This super worked out. We just like assembled a clock. They value their 1/1. We about to get bushwhackered into oblivion? Pile driver plus bushwhacker doesn't win the race? Yeah, it does. Because we're short a point next turn. Okay, well that card's just not very good. Well, it is very good, but not here. Goblin Trashmaster, huh? A good one. You're not blocking. Once again, just conceding to, like, anything. Got a lot of respect for it, opponent. Am I willing to put them to 1? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to play this and attack for 6. Play a tap land, combat. I guess any blocker is the same as a blocker, so we can just make this attack, and then they go to 4. 4 is not that different from 6, so I'm just going to hold the better blocker back. If we attack a lot, put him to 1, we're opening ourselves up to some kind of lethal combination, I feel like. Though I'm unwilling to do the math. I think generally it does not actually matter. And they do not have very many removal spells, so I'm just gonna hold the 5/5 back to be play a little bit safe after dying out of nowhere, knowing they're a Bushwhacker deck. Like, keeps them from doing any kind of Skirk Prospect or any kind of shenanigans. Foundry Street Denizen. Whatever. I mean, this Abrade probably is enough insurance, but I think a blocker is more than enough insurance. Loyalist gone. Trashmaster in play. The Trash Man. What is this attack? They gain first strike and can't be blocked by creature tokens. The old attack concede. Nice. Alright. We beat up on a creature deck. Something that we probably should be doing no matter what, but I think we had a reasonable chance in all 3 games. We kind of got a little punked in the first game, but I mean, even if we survived that attack, we were going to be grasping for removal spells in the following turn. I don't know, this deck doesn't look bad. How do you call this deck bad? What the heck? SSJ Vega, huh? Used to know a guy named Chris who had a last name of Vega. Swell dude. What is this land? Oh no. Oh no. This hand otherwise is so good. Zerda the Dawnwaker? So everything has this activated ability. What does that mean? Each permanent has an activated ability. We use Planeswalkers? This hand's good against Planeswalkers. We keeping the big sad one-lander? I think so, because we can't opt to find our second land. Oh, this hand's very good against Planeswalkers. Probably just going to keep bottom of land, call it a day. Keep bottom of land, call it a day. There, mold to 5, mold to 4. Is there something I'm missing? What does your deck do? Might be like a Jeskai. Might be some kind of like Jeskai Walker's deck. No, you can't be like fires or anything, right? Because it could be a cycle deck. That's kind of cute. Oh, it's probably just the green. No, that still doesn't make sense. This card still does not make things make sense. Why couldn't we be on the play? Could have shot this with an Izzet Charm. It has to be Planeswalkers, right? Like, this has to be like some kind of Planeswalker. Oh, that dice is a charm. I think we're going to kill that. They only have 1 card left after this, and they're attacking. Yeah, we're definitely shooting this. I don't even know what the rest of this card does. I just know it's like a mana doubler. For this clown, we could just shoot this clown. Maybe we could just kill this, and that denies them more mana. And this is legendary. Sure, we'll try killing this first and hope they don't have mana rocks. It just adds 1 extra, right? Yeah. Okay. So we could Izzet Charm this, what is it called? Keenan. Tapland. Paradise Druid, sure. No other plays. That's just like it. Alright. Okay. So is 5 mana different from 4 mana? Putting the island on bottom makes me feel silly now. Like, should I Sprite Dragon to start actually attacking and hope they brick for a draw step? Or do I answer another one of their creatures? Because if we draw a blue source, I can double spell. That makes me want to Sprite Dragon, so I'm going to Sprite Dragon. Like, because they have no plays, like, I think we need to start just playing Magic. And then if they draw step me here, like, it's unfortunate, but I don't think playing from behind is worth the risk on one draw step. Like, they apparently have a lot of mana creatures. They have, like, a random companion dude they can just cast. Yeah, that's fine. This is probably best case scenario. It's just a 3/3. Yeah. Alright. Ding! Here's Dargon. So we're going to shoot this, I think. That costs 7 mana to activate. Kill this. Always yield. So they have 5. I haven't done the math, but I feel like it favors us, so I'm attacking. And I'm sure as hell not blocking. We're just going to deny them mana and hope my things outsize their things. Llanowar Elves. You got it. Crack for 5. You have a 3-turn clock. When we up this to 6, we also have a 3-turn clock. So we need to find a removal spell, or like a bunch more spells or whatever. Arclight Phoenix. Interesting. Let's opt. Go ahead and grow our Sprite Dragons a little bit. This makes a land a good draw. Put this on top. Make these 4/4s. And then try to find a removal spell for Llanowar Elves. If we find Lightning Axe, it's like best case scenario, right? Chart of course. Well, they don't have lethal on board. They have Questing Beast. They have lethal. Whereas we could block. 11. Whereas we're not guaranteed lethal next turn. Target creature can't block. We have that taps this. Oh, I see, I see. They can activate this. Activating this is fine, right? Just puts it on the battlefield. Put an non-human creature card. I mean, unless they have a haster. Top 5. Put a haster into... Like, do you think they have a haster? Requires this to tap. I'm trying to think what punishes me for just attacking all out. 8. Put them to 7. I'm just going to attack with everything. 5, 6. If they can find 2 points, I'm dead. That leaves me dead to Vivian. 11, whereas I have to find... Fit them for 4. I have lethal Xaxes with Arclight Phoenix. I'm just going to attack with 1. I think I die to enough cards that are played in Pioneer that this is worth doing. They can't play Questing Beast because of the drawback with Zerda, but they can play like Vivian. They can play like a Lord that they could find off this. I'm just like not super interested in like trying to like spew off like dying to some random haster that has some ability or something I don't know about. Yeah, I understand. I understand they can't play Questing Beasts. I am not in the headspace to be thinking about this card's restriction in Pioneer. So, kind of just trying to figure out what kills me. But, like, here we still have lethal in the air. And we just get to hold their whole team on defense, so there's not a lot given up. Okay, yeah, see, like, if they're doing that, like, that's fine for me, because it means I'm only taking 3. Alright. Make that 2, so you have something to do with your mana. What is it? Not going to tell, huh? If I cast Chart a Course, discarding Phoenix or whatever. We can Treasure Cruise, which will put us... Alright, so we'll have 2 mana, and it'll put 2 cards in the yard to 6. They have Xaxis lethal right now. But if I find a 1-drop, I can get the Phoenix back. Yeah, okay. Charter Course. If we brick on a 1-mana spell, like preferably an interactive spell, like a removal spell. Merchant. Ironic. So we discard the Arclight Phoenix. That's 6 cards in yard. Merchant can hopefully help us find a land. So we discard a bird, I guess. I don't super know what punishes me for this. Haggle. And this, if I find any 1-mana spell or a land, an untapped land, we're doing okay. Yes, discard. We'll show them Rielle. There's an untapped land. Blue, another Treasure Cruise. 4, 5, 6. All right. Unfortunately, we're 1 short of having the Phoenix plus any Sprite Dragon be lethal. So we're just going to attack with both sprites. We don't die on board if they have some kind of removal spell. Okay. Like, if they're going to keep playing, we'll try to play our best around the removal spell. We're attacking with both Sprite Dragons no matter what that turn, but that helps a lot. Okay. Yeah, I was like, I didn't mess that up right. I only had 4 mana. Because if I had 5 mana, I could just Jegantha and I was safe. But that doesn't actually kill them that turn. So there's some kind of creatures matter deck again. I don't know how many planeswalkers are actually in their deck, though. We didn't get to see what they do, but they seem to matter. Like, creatures seem to matter in their deck. So, Thing in the Ices, they're coming in. What are you afraid of in those colors? I don't know. A removal spell of some kind, right? Because I was dead on board if they have a removal spell. Like, they had white in their deck, theoretically. Like, they played like a Confluence, right? So they technically have access to every color of Magic. That at least blue and green. A Creatures Matter decks in Pioneer. I don't know if it's that surprising. Is it? I mean, I don't know. Dimir Inverter isn't a Creatures Matter deck. Probably want Beacon Bolt. I'm trying to tell if these fries are good. Probably not. I don't think these disputes, these negates are good until we know a little bit more about what's going on. I think we're just going to, like, try to board like this. Sprite Dragon does not look that good. Does it look good? It does not look good if we're bringing in Thing in the Ices. Does not look good if we're bringing in Thing in the Ices. This card looks a little slow and is not good with Thing in the Ice. Just the Wind looks horrible. Horrible. I don't actually know if it's horrible, but it looks horrible. We don't have enough discard payoffs. I guess Beacon Bolt's kind of a discard payoff. Fine. Do this. I want to keep my powerful 2-mana spells. Yeah. Well, it is fortunate because I think the creatures that, like, the Creatures Matter decks are some of our better matchups, which is why the Sprite Dragons are starting in the main and the Thing in the Ices are in the board. Is I think that Phoenix, the way it stands, is, like, going to be good against most of the creature decks, and then like the stuff that's going to beat the crap out of us, the stuff that isn't playing creatures, that kind of red removal spells. Nice hand. Okay, treasure cruises or lands. Think we could win this game? We have to draw to cast Rielle. We'd have to draw the third treasure cruise. Oh my god! On flavor of the treasure cruises or lands. I'm willing to keep this. I mean, it has a removal spell, treasure cruise to recoup the mulligan, and charter course. Like this hand's actually a lot better than it looks, even though it doesn't do anything. We have Jegantha sitting around. Like we're legitimately going to lightning axe this on turn 1. Discard. Oh no. Who needs to lightning axe a creature when you can just wild slash it? Just draw the wild slash, chat. I hope you're all taking notes. Did you take notes? It's like lightning axe does not feel good, but we're just going to discard whatever the worst card in our hand is. No. We'll just wild slash it. Why aren't we playing Cathartic? Because it's really bad against counterspells, which are pretty prevalent in Pioneer, whereas like Izzet Charm is a much better card against it that still discards 2 for the same rate. Now, it does draw 3, so it is even more card advantage. Or it might actually just be up a card. I haven't actually done any of the math on that. But, yeah, Cloud's fine. Currently, does not do anything. If you kill the Banadork, this creature just doesn't do anything. Oh, it's so good with Mox Amber. I bet they're a Mox Amber deck. They didn't reveal a companion this game. They didn't reveal a companion. Whenever you tap, what would they put in their deck that doesn't let them companion? It has to be like a creature? Whoa. Five cards of Rielle's in play? Yeah, but you're discarding a total of 3, so you're up 2. Izzet Charm only put you up 1, right? Is that right? Like where you're discarding 2 but drawing 4? No, you're discarding 3 because of the Izzet Charm itself. Yeah, you're discarding 3, drawing a total of 4 with Izzet Charm. So you end up 1. Whereas with Cathartic you end up 2. I think that sounds right. That's what I'm going with. I don't feel a ton of pressure to kill this. So I'm debating charter coursing to like try to enable treasure cruise a little faster. I might just put this land in tapped though. Because I legitimately just want to see what their deck does. If they don't cast anything, I might opt just to like try to get our treasure cruise out faster. Incubation Druid, sure. Okay. So this thing now, there's just like a bunch of mana dorks and they're just planning to activate this. It's kind of weird. I feel like this card is what their deck's built around. Like they're supposed to be doing this thing, but like I just still feel incentivized to kill all the mana creatures. Rielle. Yeah, I'll take a Rielle. That was actually a really good draw too, this opt. Alright. Let's play this. We're not playing Rielle. I'm going to let them have a bunch of mana. We're going to try to find a kill spell for this that isn't Lightning Axe or something to discard the Lightning Axe that's good. Like that. That's just too easy. Top. Now, even though this is going to make it hard for us to bring our Phoenix back because we just literally spent all of our 2-mana spells, like, I think we're okay with that because we're not trying to be the aggressor here. We are reacting to what they're doing. And what they're doing is missing land drops. Oh, it's some kind of combo. Yeah, this makes infinite mana with the creature threat thing. Well, I mean, we're going to play the Rielle. Please don't have Dispute. They probably do. Ugh, they have Dispute. Vomit. Whatever. At least we have a Treasure Cruise. And another removal spell dialed up for a mana creature. So yeah, like, I don't know how many... It takes... So it takes the Commander plus, like, one of these that's been adapted. That makes infinite mana, and then you activate this infinite times. Yeah, they're assembling a combo. Sure. land. Not a land. Okay. Creature type is human. Well, I'm just gonna Izzet Charm this. Could chart a course looking for a land, but I definitely want to kill this turn. Shock. Oh, you have Collected Company? Very cool. Well, let's see what you got. We'll inform your Collected Company, because I think being a mana efficient is a little more important. Is that Kitesail Freebooter? Oh, Cabal. That's fine. Thing in the Ice. I do like Thing in the Ice. They have another dispute? No, don't have another dispute. Okay, they didn't. Yay! So they're a humans deck. Oh, Cabal is the card that doesn't do the thing. This is a Collected Company, probably. Finale. Sure. Bring a thing back and give it haste. Or tutor a thing. Scavenging Ooze. No green mana up. Scavenging Ooze is a nice one for them to have access to. Let's take some damage to Cabal, shall we? This is basically our last chance to get this bird back. Put on top. Value boat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blue. Hit me for a gajillion. Let you gain a gajillion. And then we can put a second bird into play. We could luck sack our way into another 1-mana spell, so I'm actually going to play to do that. It's like it has to be opt or like Wild Slash or something, but yes, let's get this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's just doing it. Alright, goodbye stuff. Yes, discard. Chart. Alright, very cool. Alright. Nice Scavenging Ooze. Attack! Go, team, go! Get them dead! And we can just play Merchant of the Vales for the rest of the game, just like from Exile. Just like, here's an idiot! While we abyss them with these creatures. Kinda into this. Kinda into this. Hashtag doing it. We're doing it, chat. We are. Dude, this deck's sweet. This deck's sweet. I like that we still have a good critical mass of like 1-mana spells, despite ditching all of the mill spells. It makes our deck feel a lot more impactful. Scoozer, you got it. Now you can't play Cabal, but you can eat stuff. Alright, you ate 2 creatures. You now have a 4/4. Now I have an Izzet Charm. Does an Izzet Charm accomplish anything? We can play Rielle. They're just still dead on board. They're still forced to block. What was this turn? I mean, yeah, sure. You're just forced to block. Very interesting. Very interesting, opponent. Very interesting. What is going on in Pioneer? These decks I've played against have been wild. Okay. Go to 7. Here's a rail. Not looking super great, but it plays, I guess. I guess you could Wrath me. Wrathing me'd be pretty good. And an Exile Wrath would be even better. Oh yeah, we're 2-1. We're doing it. This deck's great, Teddy. Where are you? Rielle seems slow to the party. Yeah, maybe. Like, the thing is, it was only slow to the party because we drew it really late. Like, we didn't draw it until we were treasure cruising in the face of a Cabal, so it definitely showed up a little late. I actually wouldn't have minded drawing it a little earlier in the game, because it would have made a lot of those... I mean, it would have made all those cards better, right? Where I could just, like, haggle on their turn and stuff like that, and we could end up finding removal spells a little faster because we're just drawing a billion cards and sifting through our deck like a mad fiend. Not a good enough deck for the Pioneer Lotus box open? Oh, Teddy, I have played far worse decks in the Lotus box tournaments. I mean, you saw I played Izzet Phoenix on stream. That was probably worse than this deck because it didn't have a companion, and companions are snapped in half, and still went like 5-2. I had a chance to top 8. Let's go. Let's go. Hating on my Izzet decks. In general, it seems hard to drop it on turn 3. I mean, the thing is, like I said, it was really squishy. That's something we talked about in the pregame shows. It dies to, like, so much of the format, right? Like, now, it doesn't die to Wild Slash. That third point of toughness is very relevant in a lot of the red-based matchups, but, like dying to Baffling End is kind of a pretty rough spot. Dying to Fatal Push is a rough spot. That Garuda Cannon was loose. Yeah, that deck was bad. But the thing is, I thought that deck was good. And that's what mattered. People told me that deck was good. So I believed them. What's their thing? Zerda? Another Zerda deck. Oh, wait, no, this is the same opponent. Lol. This hasn't happened very often. There must not be very many people in the Pioneer leagues. So is this hand good against, like, human stuff? Probably not. But it functions, so I'm going to keep it. What's up? Nobody's playing Pioneer? Pioneer's fresh and new and doing interesting things. Why are people not playing this format? This thing, go. We're probably going to get beat up this go around. I can opt to try looking for a removal spell. I mean, we're going to see if they have the 2-mana creature, but otherwise we're going to opt looking for a removal spell. I think... Is this just a pass? What is happening here? Oh, no, this is an Incubation Druid. Ugh. If they play another mana creature, I don't know that I'm going to go looking for... Okay. So, if you draw the blue-green creature, you don't do a whole lot. You can't cast this clown yet. I think we're okay. I don't think I'm going to spew off this opt. I think I'm going to get a little greedy here. And we're just going to... We're going to chart. Take the turn off. Chart. Get this Phoenix in the yard. Oh, no. And go looking for spells. I did not find spells. Chat, help! Ah, we're dead. We're the big dead. It's so wild to me that they're an unclaimed territory deck that's naming human. And they have... Llanowar Elves that they're trying to play in one. I guess they could just name Druid then. Yeah, okay, sure. But still, like, what is happening here? What is this thing? What? This is an Elemental Fox. Okay. I'm in a league right now. Yeah, well, nobody's playing. People are playing Magic. Didn't you see the quarterly report? Hipsters of the Coast was talking about it, where they're like, apparently Magic is actually, like, done well in this quarterly report. What does this do? Puzzle one for each color among permanents you control. So it's like a 4/4 or some shit. This thing's like dummy thick. It's a 3/3. Does this go infinite yet? I mean, we're drawing horribly, so... Opt. Top. Opt. Bottom. No! A 1-mana spell brought back Phoenix. I see. Here's Spirebluff Canal. I think we're just very dead, chat. I think there's just no way about it. We're just going to see what their deck actually does. Alright, all they have to do is play the 2-mana creature, and I think they win. They might actually just win anyway. This makes infinite mana, right? Yeah, this makes infinite mana. Alright, show me your payoff card. Finale of Devastation? I think we saw that. Okay. Oh my god. Just show me the payoff card. So much clicking. It's like the Druid combo. How much do you have to do the finale for in order for it to be like for a gajillion? Vigilance, huh? Okay. I think it's 10, which they have enough mana for. So that plus, like, search up an in-raise Forerunners. There's no way around it. So they don't have Finale. What do you have? If you have a Ballista, you can just play it. I can't beat up Ballista with red spells when you can just make mana on the stack. Do you have an in-raise Forerunners? Let's see if you'll show me more information for free. No, you're just making all those. Okay, cool. Ugh. Alright. Tedious. Tedious, tedious. Bored the same way. Knowing they have that white creature makes you want Fry a little bit more. I actually think I am going to bring in Fry this time. And then I think Just the Wind is even worse than I thought it was originally. This card still seems slow as hell. I think the Treasure Cruises are going to be really important. What did I cut? Oh, I cut all the Sprite Dragons this time. Yeah, because Thing in the Ice is really bad with them. Could cut another Rielle. Could cut like a Merchant. Just trim on a 1-mana spell that isn't a removal spell. Have our discard outlets be at 2 mana just to make our Rielle's good. Makes our deck a little clunkier because our 2s are clogged. Nah, I think I'll hold on to the Merchant. We'll ditch a Chart Course. Mathematicals. How's that Cathartic Reunion now? I mean, a Cathartic Reunion would have been a good draw there, but I guess so would any spell that drew cards, discard cards. Dragon is big poo-poo. Dragon was good in that one game. The first game we played against this deck. Where it was just like ginormous flying haster. Though it wasn't ginormous, I suppose, when it was hasting, but still. But I agree that Dragon is big poo-poo in this matchup, especially when Thing in the Ice is so good against this deck. Quite like this hand. This hand is very good against this deck, I think. Because we can Izzet Charm their play. Although I'd much rather be Izzet Charming to draw 2, discard 2, just to like move cards around and make this Treasure Cruise and Arclight Phoenix better, but I don't think we're going to have that luxury. They keep bringing in Cabal and not revealing this companion. There's no way Cabal in your 75 is worth not doing anything, like not having your companion, which just like helps your combo. That feels absurd to me. Alright, well. Fairly likely to draw 2, discard 2 if they don't play anything with text on turn 2. Auto swap Dragon for Thing is what we should do from now on. Maybe. I mean, that's what I'm saying though. Like, I think a lot of the matchups where Thing is better than Dragon are already good matchups. Whereas, like, the spots where Dragon is a lot better, like against the Teferi decks and stuff like that. What is happening? You just didn't play Dork on turn 1, huh? Can we die next turn? I think it is important that we draw 2, discard 2 with this. Nice. That was good for us. So now we get to bring the bird back. Bring the bird back. If we draw a second removal spell, that's ideal. Okay. Opt. So many lands. Well, you're a little late to the party, Thing in the Ice. We'll kill 1. Killing 1 I think is super fine too. Boop. Attack. Now, our mana's going to line up awkward. I think we're going to end up playing Rielle next turn because I want to be able to play Thing plus Cruise in the same turn, but that takes 5 mana still. Being able to bolt one of their lands with a Wild Slash was really nice. Down to 5 cards in the end. We're even on cards for the moment. That guy. Yeah, that one's pretty good. Now, I feel incentivized to just fire off a Treasure Cruise and try to find a removal spell for this goofball. But is that better than playing a Thing in the Ice this turn? Like, the enchantment is pretty free to play, and it looks like they have Mystical Dispute. Whereas if they dispute my Thing in the Ice, I can do Thing in the Ice plus Treasure Cruise if they have the dispute. That's pretty tempting. It's a pretty tempting turn. Let's lead on an attack, I think. I think no matter what we're attacking. Like, we could spend all our mana to Treasure Cruise, then we don't get anything accomplished. I'm just going to play a Thing. Then get it disputed, and then we're going to Treasure Cruise. Yup. Nope. Treasure Cruise. Boop, 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 boop. And we're just going to hope not to get comboed. 3 lands. It'd be like that sometimes. Well, I mean, I suppose if we draw like another brick on our next turn, we're just going to play our companion. And that obviously that's predicated on us not just literally dying here. The thing only makes 2 mana at the moment, and they don't have access to the companion to just like help dial up the combo really quickly. I don't know if it's baited. I think that trade was still okay for them, but like I think it's the best turn. Oh no. Now it's a 3/3. If you have the enchantment, you can't go. Oh, you can. Well, you definitely should have tapped this, I think. Unless you just have another human to play. You should have nothing. Paradise Druid. Well, now our Jegantha looks like a great play. A non-human creature. I wonder if they have the rest of the companion creature in their deck. It would be suboptimal. Oh, they have a Cabal. Sure. Well, we're definitely winning this game in the air. Alright, well, let's put a gigantic stop sign on the ground. Got a 4 turn. Whereas they can activate this next turn for pretty free. Alright, well, here's this thing. A 5/5 looks really good on this board. Companion's still busted. More at 11. Next turn we can play our 6th land and play a Merchant and a Rielle. And then just start activating Merchant to get ahead on cards. Just put more creatures in play while we're beating down with Arclight Phoenix. I mean, this is all predicated on them breaking a little bit, but it's going to take a lot of mana to activate this goofball. It takes 4 plus this, which they can activate post-combat, but we can block. So they're taking their 4/4 out of the fight. To add another non-human into play, which looks like it's just going to grab mana creatures for the most part. And obviously the Fox, that they have the full set of the Fox in their deck. But they need the enchantment too. Ooh, if they had like is there any like untap your team creatures? That'd be so good. They draw Finale? No. Sure. I guess I don't know why I'm looking at the reveal. Anything they grab, they're going to put into play. This pause makes me think they have options? Okay. Can you activate again? No. You have no attacks. Thing in the Ice. Interesting. So we can attack and then put Thing plus Rielle into play. Attack with both. Make them kill Jegantha. What do their blocks look like? They can just block with Cabal plus an Elder, or just both Elders, and it just trades with an Elder. It's certainly not ideal, but it cuts them off some amount of mana. I really don't want to cast spells because of Cabal. Alright. Just gonna hope for another brick or two. Okay. Here's Rielle. 3 toughness blocker. Here's Thing. Here's a tap Spirebluff Canal. Go. Said GG. I mean, does this just mean you have me killed? Maybe that was from earlier. That would have been from earlier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. Yeah, I guess if they have a finale, we're just dead, probably. Which looks to be the case. What the hell? Whoa. Okay. Huh. Didn't expect a hard cast Razaketh. What was I doing? Maybe I should have Hail Married. For a card, put that card in your hand. This taps and untaps? I don't understand. Four things. Oh no, it makes 5 mana. So you do make infinite mana, and then you put all your creatures into play. Oh no, you can just search up the thing. Alright, yeah, good games. Interesting. Sure, I got clapped by the deck we just 2-0'd. Wild. What a matchup. Ugh. Well, I guess both the hands we kept in those games were pretty slow. Treasure Cruise really showed its butt there. Like the card, like that's a prime example of why I'm only playing 3 Treasure Cruise. Like there's definitely times like where I'm gonna regret not playing 4, where like I always want to draw 1 in the main deck games, but man, the card is such a liability so much of the time, especially in a deck like us that were really really bad. Like I think we delved it out entirely once. Would Merchant have been better? I don't see his flipping Thing. Sure, but I don't see the power on the extra point of like the points of power on Merchant mattering. Whereas like there is a chance if we draw like a 1 mana spell that we end up flipping Thing that turn, which gives us another angle. Like if we're just assessing how much is the creature that we put into play going to matter on the next turn, thinking that it's being able to flip into a 7/8 I think is a little more relevant than Merchant being a 2/3 that can potentially like we can pay 3 mana and discard cards and draw cards. Like we're gonna win off the back of Phoenixes. In the Flyers that game, or like maybe there's a universe where we have to flip all their stuff into play and hope they can't redeploy it quick enough. If like they did something like where we just put the combo in play where we like couldn't, but like couldn't activate it or something. Like it's all super narrow, but because I don't think there was any universe where they were like attacking in a way that was non-lethal, just having like Thing in the Ice into play would make a little bit more sense. This hand looks okay to me. Yorion, another white deck. We have Wild Slash. We have Izzet Charm. We have Rielle. We're missing a blue land, but we have Merchant to discard Arclight Phoenix. I think this is just a keep. This hand has a lot going for it. It seems to really come together, and being on the play, I think, helps it a lot. I mean, being on the play just helps Rielle a lot, because she's really slow. She's really slow, but very powerful. You get to untap with her. In game 1 in this matchup, I think we are going to be able to untap with her, so I like that. Baby, I like it. The way you untap with Rielle. Oh, a Jeskai land. Perhaps this is just a control deck. Oh, let's haggle. Discarding the old burb. Oh, that'll help us flip. That's not a good sign. If they're both not the devotion deck and we're gonna become blue lands, then we're not doing great. We'll just hope we draw a blue land. It'll be fine. So we can play Rielle and get it Teferi'd. Oh, yeah. Ding. Well, we could play this. This card's better against Teferi. But Rielle has the higher upside. Like, they're pretty... Like, they're probably just going to plus Teferi if we just put this into play. I'm going to assume they're a control deck and actually cast this. Because, like, Teferiing that is so comically bad that, like, I think they'll just plus. And there's a universe where if we draw a spell that matters, we can just, like, kill Teferi. Oh, they're a Narset deck, too. Very cool. I wonder if there are Fires of Invention deck. Gideon. Sure. That's one of the more punishing ones for Wilds, for the... What's it called? For the not playing Rielle. Huh. We can bring Bird back. Wild slash this. Draw 2, discard 2. Another burb. Sprite Dragon. Discard a land. And a Rielle. Yeah. Slash once there. Slash again there. Combat. Okay. Hit you. Leave this back, because this still has damage that can't be done. Okay. Well, we're back in it. And if they activate this land, boy. Once we have Rielle out, that'd be sweet. They can't activate it just for value, because then we get even more value than they do. Kind of nice. I mean, as it stands, we probably already get more value than they do in the absence of an R set. The real question here is how many sweepers do they have? Like, here, if we get swept, it's not the end of the world, because both of these threats, like, this did something. This also did something. So, like, and we have, like, good rebuild cards in our hand. So, assuming this is, like, Verdict. Yep. We have a reasonable chance, hey, to come back. This is just the way we drew it up, huh? Rielle. Haggle. Yes. Discard this. Okay. Go. Now, we're still probably not doing great if they have, like, any Planeswalker at all. Yeah, Teferi is a thing. Although, Sprite Dragon's pretty good against Teferi, huh? Assuming they don't have something that deals with a Sprite Dragon. Another Rielle. Dragon. Plays around Quench. Attack Teferi. Dead. Got there. Okay. Now they know about our Rielles. Well, they know about one of our Rielles. So I assume they're going to hold up some form of counter magic for probably most of the rest of this game. The thing is, if they ever play Yorion, like this is a tempting turn to play Yorion since they just omen to the seed. Like, just playing a 4/5 to draw a card is, like, actually decent. And if we do that, then we're actually in really good shape because we can Rielle plus Lightning Axe. But I wouldn't be shocked if they just get greedy and just, like, choose to do, like, some other thing. Like, they have 6 cards in hand. It's pretty reasonable that they would just do something else other than playing Yorion. But Yorion getting any value is reasonable. What's up? Hey, Dragon. I'm doing okay. Just moved. Didn't stream at all for the last, like, 2 or 3 weeks. This is my first stream back at it. Having a good time. Mostly tired from the move, honestly. Oath of Teferi. Flicker a thing. Sure. Moved? Yeah, I'm back in Huntsville now. Love to see it. So, a 5-mana draw card that leads to a better value Yorion, I guess makes sense, but it does let us get on board, which is a little weirder. Maybe that just means they have another Wrath. They put 1 top, 1 bottom. Assume they topped this. Well, it's not like I've been, like, super loud about it. I mean, the only people I've really talked to about it are, like, Brian and stuff. They put a card on top and then drew it. What does that mean for us? I think we're just going to fully delve out of Treasure Cruise. Try to get this Phoenix back. I want to grow my Sprite Dragon a little bit and basically capitalize the most on them being, like, completely shields down this turn. I think this gives us the best chance to end up bringing back Phoenix and, like, doing something that forces action on their turn. Just the wind. Well, can I choose not to do something? Return target creature. I cannot. Chart course. Yikes. These options kind of suck. Graveyard that. I guess this isn't actually the end of the world, because we still have 2 spells already dialed up to bring back Phoenix. Although it would require them to play more creatures. Interplanetary Beacon. Drawing these, like, things that care about creatures in the main deck game, though, is pretty rough. I guess if they, like, go to remove this, we can just, like, Just the Wind it to pick it up. That does not feel great, though. Blue and white. Teferi. Sure. So they pick up Sprite Dragon, we still get to pick off their Teferi. You may activate the Lotus twice. Oh, that's sick. Very cool. So they plus up so they can instant speed Verdict too. Yeah, we've probably lost. Might be wasting my time here, but I will continue to play. Blue, turquoise. What we discard here doesn't super matter. Discard Just the Wind. I mean, we do have, like, a full hand of cards. But, like, their Yorion is just going to drown us in card advantage on the following turn. I mean, we have 7 in hand and they're 5 because they've been hitting land drops when we haven't. But, like, I just don't see a universe where we don't just get drowned by this Yorion. I mean, we can move it out the way, but I assume they have another Wrath given their Teferi plus. I mean, them drawing more lands is great for us. Like, just actual cards that don't really amount to a whole lot at this point in the game. Narset's obnoxious. There's 4. Fire's mentioned. Probably don't want to cast that. Activate it again. Deafening Clarion. Sure. Plus up. Plus up. Huh. Clarion is kind of an issue. Huh. So I guess if I go to combat, it just forces the Clarion, which is enticing to me. Anything that forces action on them first is pretty attractive to me. Sure. So we can Wild Slash this. We can Rielle. Then I think we're just going to Treasure Cruise. 4, 5, 6, 7. Boop. Take my creature from a 6 power to a 1 power. Is this good? What do you mean no? Sure. Again, I mean, we're still keeping up with card advantage. I mean, all our stuff's resolved, but, like, they just have this Yorion that, like, is always constantly a threat of being played. They can plus, minus pick this up. Though the minus does leave you a little weak to Sprite Dragon. I think if we can weather the Yorion whenever it actually gets played, we're going to be in good shape. How does this card work? You cast spells without paying the mana cost. So you can do Yorion without issue. Ugh. That Narset is frustrating. Have a Discord channel? I do. Yes. I mean, it's like I said, it's mostly just people talking about Magic, if you are interested in that. But other than that, yeah, there's Discord. Feel free to join. Chandra, Awakened Inferno. Oh no! Elspeth Conquers Death. It's a lot of stuff. I mean, we might just time them out. Because, like, I don't necessarily feel out of this game with my 8-card hand. Now 9 cards. All of which have text, and they can't cast spells in my turn. The question is which Planeswalker to kill. I think it's just pretty clearly Narset. Because, like, it neuters a lot of my cards. Dargon. Combat. Kill Narset. Player draws a card, then discards a card. Sure. Discard the extra land I don't need. Okay. And then second main, we can just chart a course, go looking for a Wild Slash for Teferi, and then, like, Izzet Charm to, like, I guess Izzet Charm doesn't do anything that matters anymore. Jesus. What a strange spot to be in. So we know they have an Elspeth Conquers Death. And a Chandra. Chandra just picks all this stuff up. I think we're wasting our time here. I'm just going to move on. Move on. That game was not as close as I thought it was going out of that turn. I should have thought about their, like, sweeper suite a little bit more. So this is a matchup where Sprite Dragon is actually very good, as is Fry. Okay. Maybe that turn was supposed to just look like play... I actually think I messed up there. I should have played Sprite Dragon, killed Narset, then just played Jegantha, but I think they could just plus... No, they would kill their Teferi. Alright, yeah, I think that's what we should have done. And drawing all these creature removal spells was embarrassing. Embarrassing. Just gonna cut them all. Cut them all. They have no creatures. We have Fries to pick up the Yorion card. Let's see. What else sucks? Treasure Cruises, they have Rest in Peace, which they very well might. His Wild Slashers aren't that very good either. I kind of want to cut 2 of those. The thing is, they do a good job finishing off Planeswalkers, but so do Haste Threats, of which we have 8. Let's try something like that. That's the thing, too, is like, Sprite Dragon's a lot better with the reactive cards than Thing in the Ice is, which is, oh, cool, thanks, Dragon, for joining the Discord, which I think is a pretty big boon in this deck's favor when it comes to like playing the pile of counterspells in the sideboard. Is they just like your threat being good with it, I think, is a pretty important aspect that gets ignored a lot of the time. Yeah, I'll keep this. It just needs like a red land to really function. And we have a lot of looks at it with between Opt and Charter Course, and we can get this Charter Course under like most major counterspells. The mulliganing is good for us. We're only a minute ahead, so we still are going to have to play fairly quickly if we're going to try to win this match through a game 3. Okay. Island, go. Represent that dispute on turn 1. Pro stuff over here. Yeah, well, it doesn't even matter. Unbelievable. Opt. Top. You think me topping impacts their scry? Should have waited. I doubt it. No, we have too many lands. So the question is, do we want to hold Charter Course for Rielle? I think Rielle is going to get answered too easily, so I think I'm actually just going to go ahead and Charter Course now. Boop. Plan to discard a land currently. Hopefully don't draw a pile of lands. Well, that Phoenix is an interesting draw. We'll probably get it back on turn 4. While developing our mana. I guess 5 lands isn't the end of the world when we have a 5-drop that we can cast. And we just need to draw like any 1 or 2 mana spell to have a hasty Arclight Phoenix on 4 to help kind of recoup after they do whatever to our Rielle. Well, that does it. And this Izzet Charm is actually the best possible draw, I think, because like it's also the best card with Rielle. Like if we just end up not doing anything, like if they end up like letting this live somehow because they Narset or whatever, we just get to really go off. Gideon also counts. So our turn's about to be pretty disgusting. Alright. Fry's a nice one too. I would like to be able to hold up Izzet Charm, but don't think I can. So... thing is, we're committing a lot to kill Gideon if we don't just cast. But I really want to cash out on this while we still can. Maybe the turn is just Fry go. Is that bananas? We can Fry go and then just counter a thing? Is that better than like getting a few more cards out of this? Because like I want to be able to counter a Fires if they have it. Let's just opt good digging for more birds. And if we draw more birds, then we know to use the Izzet Charm. Now I just have a pile of lands. Ugh. Like, we're so likely to get Sweepered, which makes me... Like, if they have Supreme Verdict, it punishes me for holding up Izzet Charm. So we'll just draw 2, discard 2. Boop. Discard 1, 2. Okay. Draw 2 more. Play this. Wild slash this. Bring back Burb. Attack Gideon. And now, like, this forces a sweeper, and we still have stuff in play if they have, like, a Teferi or, like, I don't know, another Planeswalker that flamed on Kavus or something. Like, we still have a lot going on. We ended up drawing another Izzet Charm to where if they answer this and just, like, fog this or whatever, then Rielle's still going to continue to pop off. If they have Fires, I'm a little concerned, though. I mean, I think Fire is easily their most scary play here. Hopefully they do not have it. Jace, Architect of Thought, is one of their least scary plays, so that means their hand is pretty weak, I think. Fortunately, I don't think there's a way we can assemble lethal without drawing a lot more birds. I don't think Oath of Teferi matters, so we're just going to put this separate. I think Teferi Time Raveler is a much better card than these two. I would be shocked if they don't put the Oath of Teferi and the Gaia Reach Sanitarium in their hand, but the thing is, neither of those cards actually accomplish anything. So, like, Teferi is the only thing in this pile that interacts with the board, but I think they're going to want the land. Yeah, they put the Teferi Time Raveler in their hand. Like, like, there's just, like, their hand, the rest of their hand just doesn't do a whole lot. Alright, draw 2, discard 2. Discard this, this. Alright, 6, 7. So we can shock Sprite Dragon. We can get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Still takes 3 power off to Treasure Cruise. So we should send this here, this face. Hold up Fry. Could also just Fry, attack, then Treasure Cruise second main. I don't think this Treasure Cruise matters that much. And I don't want to play the Sprite Dragon into removal. 7 cards, go to 5, go to 8, we go to discards. Whereas we could Chart a Course and get in for more damage. I think I'm going to try to do that. Like, we're giving up on a card potentially, but I want to get in for more damage if we draw a bird. And if we don't, it still just gets some more damage with Rielle. Okay. Let's discard a Fry that I think is extra. Alright, and then we'll hit them for a whopping 8, which makes that card look incredible, and we'll kill Jace. Alright, and then... I think they're likely to Teferi this, so I feel incentivized to Treasure Cruise, but I think I'm going to hold it in case I need to get Bird back. Like, if we get Supreme Verdicted, I'm going to want to hold it. Whereas right now we are just presenting lethal, so they have to take action that actually interacts with this board. Yep, there's the verdict. Easy clap. Okay, how many Sprite Dragons can we play and still accomplish getting the bird into play? Not very many. So I kind of want a Sprite Dragon, Treasure Cruise. But I could just hold up Izzet Charm. Sprite Dragon, Treasure Cruise, Izzet Charm. I don't love that. I want to hold this Izzet Charm for a post-Rielle turn. So, yeah, let's just play 2 Sprite Dragons, and then we'll Treasure Cruise. Sprite Dragon. Treasure Cruise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7. Boop, always yields. Make them 2/2s. Go back to 7 cards. That was a good draw. Go to combat. Hit them to 8. Alright. Now we've reloaded the board post-Wrath. Got damage in. And even if they have something like a Chandra here, I feel like I'm in pretty good position. What's up, Blitz? How are you? How are you doing today? We're playing against a lot of companions. Pioneer. Teferi. Okay. Unfortunately, my friend, I don't think Teferi actually does much. Okay. Alrighty then. Dargon. Haggle. Hey, thanks for the follow. I don't know how to say your name. Matthias 34? Matt 34. Thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. Discard card. Yes, please. Goodbye. So we have 5. Should just have lethal, right? Haggle. Discard a Negate. Shows them a sideboard card, which I'm not in love with, but... Oh, they don't want to play anymore. Understandable. Okay. Well, that went a lot better for us. Imagine. Being on the play as the tempo deck and not drawing a bunch of removal spells goes well for us. Well, I still only have 2 treasure cruises, but, like, they didn't have a ton of removal spells, and Rielle did just kind of keep up on card advantage, like, the whole game, and then still hit for a billion. Like, that match really showcased how powerful Rielle is. Like, literally just carried that entire game. So, while I thought it was going to be really anemic and bad in the matchup, I guess it's actually not, because all of their answers to it are, like, on the same mana cost axis as it itself. So, like... Even though, like, the problem with it normally is that it dies to a bunch of, like, cheap removal spells as a 3-drop, and then you just end up down on mana as your tempo deck. But, like, in this Resource Matters matchup, it just doesn't really play out like that. I think this hand's good enough off the back of a Mystical Dispute alone. Mystical Dispute on the draw is really, really important, I think. And, like, the rest of our spells aren't a joke either. Like, we have a Discard Outlet, we have a Phoenix dialed up, we have a second counterspell already in hand. Like, the only awkward thing about this hand is the mana. And, like, I think that can be pretty easily overcome. Just drawing, like, a land that we want to draw anyway on any 2-lander. So, the problem is this is going to give them some time to set up, like, play their tap lands without us, like, getting any kind of aggression down. But even still, like, even if we had Sprite Dragon here, which we do not, they would just get bounced by a Teferi after getting, like, a point in, and then we'd have to, like, re-attack, and it's just awkward. Whereas here, we're just going to counter the first few plays. Okay. Cast Haggle. Yes. Thank God Haggle's an instant. Another dispute, huh? A 3rd dispute. Well, our cards have to have text, so we're going to keep playing. Well, now we're going to use the draw 2, discard 2 mode of Izzet Charm if we end up not doing anything. I just want these to get equity, so I'm just firing them off. If they dispute back, I don't think I'm going to do anything. But, like I said, I just want to trade resources, and this card has real text in play with, like, as a Yorion deck. Just, like, doing stuff. What is this? Narset. Gain a life. We'll dispute that one too. Trading resources. They're going to dispute finally. Alright, we'll dispute again. Alright, now we've traded all our resources. We can hopefully spend this next turn actually popping off on getting this bird back. Okay. We could also play Merchant of the Veil. I don't love that. The thing is, I don't think we're very likely to bring this bird back. And holding up Izzet Charm, I don't think has a lot of value at the moment when we're almost certainly going to need it in order to, like, move cards around for Arclight Phoenix and find more threats and stuff. The thing is, if they have Elspeth Conquers Death, I feel very silly. Like, Elspeth Conquers Death specifically is one of the more punishing cards, but, like, they can just hold that card forever. Fairy Hero of Dominaria, sure. That one's fine. That one dies to Fry. Giving us a target for Fry is actually great, because it means we're very likely to get this bird back. Sure. Untap your stuff. Knock it out. Perfect. So that'll bring the bird back, so we can just... I don't think we can do this painlessly, because we have 3 red cards and 3 red sources. Try that. Play this. Blue. Draw 2 cards. Discard 2 cards. Awkward. I guess we still have Jegantha. If they have a Wrath in hand, we still have like a 5/5 that we can play next turn. So like we can still keep the pressure on. But we are down a card currently. Because the Wild Slash going face was only worth 2 points. Oh no! They can make a blocker. Search for Jegantha? Alright. This one needs what? 7? Okay. Verdict. That's a good one. 1 card in hand. Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna play the old 5/5. Then they can play their 5/5 and flicker nothing. I mean, play their 4/5 and flicker nothing. And then we can hope to just dial something up, get something together. I mean, Treasure Cruise would be the ideal draw, but it's weird that we haven't seen like a Rest in Peace or anything yet. Land. They have Castle Ardenvale to chump block. Which looks like the plan, although we did draw the Treasure Cruise because we're so skilled. Alright, let's try and accomplish stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blue. Yoink! So we can chart, then get a bird back. Chart. And all the while we're just looking for another bird. We'll discard Merchant. Chart. Another bird! Give me another bird. The last card's Dispute. This would be the time they'd use it. Discard that. I guess I could have played Sprite Dragon first off of Jegantha, because it like would have flown. Yeah, maybe that was better. 2, 3, 4, 5. Attack. They activate. They go to 12. I think I'm going to play this land. Make a 1/1. because I already have like 7 mana worth of stuff dialed up I want to do. So if I end up drawing another land, it ends up working out. Go. So they have to put this card in the graveyard if they want to flip Jegantha, but they can easily Jegantha to another Verdict. The thing is, that's kind of hard to like consistently find your verdicts in an 80 card deck, so I think we're still okay. Yeah, Blitz, we're streaming. This has been a grindy league though. I mean, we've been at it for like 2 hours, but we've played a lot of grindy decks. There's a lot of grinding going on in Pioneer. Like for a deck that feels like it should be fairly aggressive. Like we're going deep in our rounds. Narset is pretty functionally equivalent, but it gains 2 life. What is it? Put Fires of Invention in your hand? Oh, that lets you Yorion, I think. Which is an issue. Okay. Wait, no, you've cast 2 spells this turn. Never mind, we're good. Alright. So how do we find lethal? We have 8 in play. 9... 10? We can get to 10? I don't think that does it. So, let's just draw a bunch of cards. Combat. Hit this for 3. Hit you for 5. Yoink. Okay, the Izzet Charm's expiring, so we're going to use it. Rielle. Draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. Discard 1, 2. I think the threats are more powerful. Yeah, I think the threats are more powerful. We have a lot more spells in our deck than we have threats, so I'm going to hold on to all the threats. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm going to hold this land. Sprite Dragon. Sprite Dragon takes 4 mana, and then we have 2. If we can cast 2 spells, that's 6. We would need to cast 3 spells. Alright, I'll play the land, actually. It's an insane sequence where we can get lethal, because this is 7 mana, if we draw 3 1-mana spells. I think they basically have to be ops, but, like, you need to, like, do Sprite Dragon, 3 spells, as simple as lethal with Arclight Phoenix. Assuming they wrath me and don't gain life. Which I think that's what the first thing they're going to do here is go looking for a wrath. Which makes sense. I should not have 6. Narset. Okay, that can be spell number 1 is Narset, which gives you 4 more looks, and then you have a 1/1. Now, if they play Narset, I think I might be supposed to opt here. I guess we can wait. We go to 11. Okay. Yes. Alright, they get 4 more looks at a Wrath, or anything they Wrath, so they just have the Wrath. Okay. In that case, we hold the opt to pump Sprite Dragons. Yeah, okay. Okay. To Fairy. Not ideal. Red, here's a Sprite Dragon. Red, here's a Sprite Dragon. Haggle. Yeah, let's just haggle and then say no. One of the few times that actually just saying no is good. No. Combat. I think this game's going to begin to slip away from us. But I don't think we can win if we don't have access to drawing multiple cards a turn. So I'm going to commit to killing the Narset and then hope that this ends up going okay for us. But I think we're a turn too slow here. Like, just getting to Azcanta every turn and cast 2 spells is just too much of a beating. I can start making 1/1s too. Deafening Clarion. Alright, I'm willing to call it there. Ugh. Yeah, Narset's hard for this deck to beat. I mean, that's part of where the fries exist. Okay. Well, we got beat up a little bit. Although we did play the same deck twice, and we didn't actually play against the Orzhov Aura's deck, which I kind of warped my deck a little bit to be good against with these bounce spells. Like, these bounce spells were pretty bad. Whereas, actually, like, the discards... Like, we didn't really run out of stuff to discard because a lot of the times Rielle just helped us a lot. So I think these cards are just bad. These Just the Winds were really, really bad. Sprite Dragon wasn't super impressive. It died a lot. It was good against Teferi. I mean, we did get to do exactly what I was talking about, how it lines up well against Teferi, where they bounce it and you immediately get to just replay it and hasty kill it. But that didn't even seem to matter all that much. Like, where the rest of the time where we really needed, like, an impactful threat, it was just a little slow to get started. The Rielles actually were really impressive. I was impressed with that, but, I mean, our deck was warped to be a good Rielle deck, so the times it lived, it's, of course, going to be pretty impressive. But, I mean, even still, as powerful as it was, it didn't really carry us out of, like, the Narset Teferi matchup. I definitely think that what this deck was doing was a little less cohesive than what the previous iterations I've been playing have been doing, like with the mill spells. The problem is, like, not having access to a companion with the mill spell versions, I think just makes that deck a little bit worse. So I feel like we're supposed to continue exploring the Rielle axis with Arclight Phoenix, like this kind of stuff. I don't know how much of the rest of this is supposed to stay. But, like, being able to leverage a companion, I think, mattered a lot of the time. Just, like, always having access to a 5-mana 5/5, I think, was really impactful. Thing in the Ice would have looked really good, so maybe we just, like, swap out. Maybe we just don't play Sprite Dragon, because it's just not that good. And we play Thing in the Ice again. And, like, this way, either way, like, whatever we're doing is pretty good. The thing is, if we're doing this kind of thing, I feel like our deck's slowing down a lot. We may want to start reaching for things like Narsets of our own and other various Planeswalkers and stuff like that in order to, like, kind of make ourselves less of a tempo deck and more of a blue-red control deck that just leverage discards outlets plus Arclight Phoenix. If we have to do another instant, the sprites live. The dragons? Yeah, but they had like a Teferi too. Like, I was just like... was losing the race. Like, even if we get all that lining up and we lose, we end up at 0 cards and they just tuck 1 and we have a 4/4 to their army. Like, we continue playing, but I think we were very dead. Treasure Cruise was important. I found myself reaching for it exactly once, but there were definitely times it was clunky. I think 3 was actually a fine number for this kind of a deck. I wonder if this kind of deck is supposed to have Ox anyway. And just like me, we're supposed to abandon Jegantha. But I really think having a companion is important if you're going to be a deck going forward. So maybe we should cut. I think, like, cutting down on this card is going to be pretty impactful. Young Pyromancer doesn't seem like it's doing it, though. We need to explore what the best 2-drop thing is for sure. But I think this card holds promise. It's better than, like, the Crackling Drake stuff I was trying to do. But it's definitely awkward that Treasure Cruise doesn't work super well with it. So I wonder if we could do something like a slip through space where, like, you can just, like, make this thing unblockable and draw a card and just, like, have this, like, other axis you go through. It also is pretty good with Thing in the Ice where, like, you can flip a Thing in the Ice and make it unblockable as it flips. So, like, I kind of wonder if, like, slip through space is something this kind of deck wants to be reaching for. Could also reach for Temur Battle Rage if we want to do that with Rielle and Thing in the Ice. Like, pretty good with those. And Temur Battle Rage checks on resolution, I think. So if it's the last spell to flip your thing, it'll, like, have double strike, which, I mean, cracking for 14 is really, really attractive. So, like, those are the kinds of things I'm going to be looking to explore next. Is like trying to play something like Team or Battle Rage or Slip Through Space in order to make like this card just a little bit better at attacking, and like therefore making a little bit better threat for closing the games and not have to reach for these for like evasion. And it's also pretty good with like these, so we have like multiple targets that's good with it. The thing is, Slip Through Space is pretty bad at bringing back Phoenixes because you have to have a target, so you may have to target their stuff. But there's enough creatures in Pioneer that I think it may be worth it, and just having access to another 1-mana cantrip that has a lot of upside in random spots is like pretty enticing. Anything else I want to say about this kind of a deck? Yeah, I mean, like I said before, a lot of the stuff that we're explored, like we tried a lot of new stuff in one spot, and I think we learned a lot. I don't think the deck is so heinously bad I'm going to abandon it, but it definitely is going to need some more work. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to figure it out by the Lotus Box League on Sunday, but we'll figure it out and we'll do some math. Crash Through? Crash Through just gives trample, right? I don't love that because if it's not lethal, Rielle still just dies, but it is still pretty good with Thing. Maybe Crash Through is a little bit better. No, I think that's actually a good suggestion, Matt. I think that's a good suggestion. Crash Through? Not bad. Maybe we want some combination of the two. Maybe we want like some number of like crash throughs and slip through spaces or something. Like maybe like, I don't know that we have room for it though. Like we need interactive spells. We need discard outlets for Rielle. We need discard outlets for Arclight Phoenix. So we need a lot of like discarding stuff. But maybe we can start trimming on these 2-mana spells that were kind of awkward. Start trimming on like, what if we trimmed on some of like this stuff? No, not Chart. I think Chart's the better of the two. Trim like 2 of these. Like, we don't need our Rielle to go insane, right? Like, we just needed to, like, recoup a couple of our card disadvantage stuff. And this is, like, 8 cards I'm holding. We probably can keep these. I want to keep 1-mana removal spells. Maybe if we got just the wind and, like... Maybe Charter Course is worse in this deck because we just don't need it that much. We can cut like 2 Charter Courses, a Merchant or something. These 5. I don't know. This is all theorizing, but this is just kind of like where my head's going is like cut something like these 5 cards for some split of Crash Throughs and Slip Through Space, maybe like 4 and 1. I think 4 and 1 makes a lot of sense. Maybe like, yeah, 4 Crash Throughs and a single Slip Through Space. Just like make Rielle really big. Have more 1-mana cantrips to actually go to the graveyard for Treasure Cruise. Like help make Thing in the Ice crash through a little bit better. Yeah, I think that's an interesting conversation to have, and definitely an angle that this deck can take that's worth trying. It's also pretty good with this 5/5 Jegantha thing. Just like help this get through. I don't know. Those are all neat ideas. Anyways, that's kind of where I'm at. This is like I've just explained to you all what I'm going to be working on probably for the next week or two in Pioneer. While people figure stuff out, I think Phoenix can survive, and I think, like I said, like this card is very, very powerful, and we definitely saw that, but it was a little slow as well, so we need to make sure that we need to speed it up a little bit, and one way to do that is to make sure it actually connects and kills people a little bit faster, because when it connects, it does not look very slow anymore. Maybe also like some protection spells. I'm just like still going on about stuff, but like some way to protect this could be interesting. Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at. This is what I'm trying. I think there's a lot of potential here, even though like that league didn't super go our way. I think there's a lot to like and a lot to continue working on. Hey, Pauls, how's it going? We just 2-3'd a league with my completely experimental take on Izzet Phoenix, and I'm explaining to chat what I would do in the future, and of course to YouTube. Can't forget you, YouTube. What I would do in the future and where I'm going to go with this deck. But I think there's a lot of stuff. I think there's a lot of power here. I think the deck that I threw together for this stream was a little too clunky, which is why I want to cut on some of the chonk. And I think make the deck a little bit more streamlined. I think we could have edged out a few of those games that like were kind of close. Like maybe the last game of that league that we just played, and maybe we would have done a little bit better in a repeat. I think we could have easily 4-1 to this league. I think the mono-white matchup's going to be basically hard no matter what. We just need to get a little lucky. But I think the deck has a lot of potential. Thank you all for tuning in. If you've not yet followed me on Twitch and you appreciate my content, you want to follow me, you want to support me, please do so. It's the easiest way to support me on Twitch. We'll let you know when I go live. If you're watching on YouTube and you liked my content, thank you very much for stopping by. Thank you for watching the video. There's plenty more videos throughout my channel you can find in the various playlists, which are sorted by format. And yeah, thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button. It's the easiest way to support me on YouTube and let you know when I post more videos. If you ring the bell next to the subscribe button, you actually get a notification when I post more videos, not just the little dot on the left where all of your sub channels are. Thank you for support. I will see you next time.